So I had a lot of people ask me on how I get custom crosshairs inside of Roblox Rivals. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you on how you could do it. There are going to be two different ways. There's going to be a free way and a paid way. I'm going to show you the free way first since everyone's going to be asking, and after that I'll show you the paid way. Also, another question that a lot of people ask, can I get banned for using a custom crosshair inside of Rivals? No, this does not go against Rivals TOS, so you're completely fine to do this. So let's get right into it. So the first way is a free way, which is it's made by the same guys who I'm going to mention in the paid way, but the first one is the free way. And the first thing that you're going to need is you need to launch Steam. That is it. You need to have Steam for this, and that's the only thing you're going to need. Basically, if you're a gamer, you have Steam, but if you don't, you will need Steam for this one. So by going to Steam, what we're going to need to look up is Crosshair V2. This is that we're going to be using right now. So when you get Crosshair V2, what you just do is we're going to install it on our C drive here, and we're just going to wait until this gets done installing. All right, Crosshair V2 is done installing. So what we're just going to do is we're going to launch it. Now it may ask you it's going to ask you if you want to try Crosshair X. You could say maybe later, but basically this is the first way to get a custom crosshair inside of Arsenal. Now there's not a lot of customizations that you can do. You can pick the shape or the size, so you can do here's the shape, you can do a dot, you can do this one, you can do that one, whatever seems fit for you. It should be in the middle of the screen all the time. You can also change the color. You don't have too much customizations yet again, so you can change the color to it. So after you get your crosshair all set up, what you can just do is you can press F2 on your keyboard, and you can hide the little menu that's up in the corner there, and that's how you can get a kind of free crosshair for free. I'm going to be showing you guys on how you guys can get a more premium version than Crosshair V2. So by the way, this will not work for mobile and console. I really forgot to mention that in the beginning of this video, so just kind of saying. So to get the paid version, what we need to go to is Steam, of course. We're going to go to our Steam store here, and what we're going to look up is called Crosshair X, and it's going to be 10 bucks on Steam. Not too bad, I would have to say. And what you're going to do is you're just going to click buy Crosshair X and add it to the Steam library. And when we get to there, I already have it running, by the way, but we're going to click on the run tab when it's done installing. And what we'll go to is it should launch in your system tray. If it doesn't, but it should be in your system tray, as you can see. And that is kind of it. You can do a lot of customizations with Crosshair X. There are so many different crosshairs that you can pick from here. The one that I actually use is this one. Basically, I use two different ones. I think this one was from 8C, if I'm kind of right on that. I think 8C uses this one, I'm pretty sure. But you could do a lot of customizations. You could pick from a lot of crosshairs out there, like a dot or a little like something like this. And by the way, some of these crosshairs are actually animated like this one. So if you hold down your mouse button, it will actually animate. So before we do anything else, what we have to do is we have to go to our settings. There's a couple of things that we have to change here. Now, there are, for your display mode, typically if you're playing Roblox, you're in full screen unless you're using alt enter mode. You will need to use game bar, and how you use game bar is basically you go to here, widget menu, widget store, and it should be the first one installed right here. That's the only thing that you have to install if you're going to use it through game bar. I don't recommend using game bar because sometimes it doesn't work, but say if I'm using Crosshair X in another game, like a great example is Fortnite, and I'm playing in full screen mode, it won't work in simple display mode, so you will have to use game bar mode. But as of right now, we're just gonna leave it in simple. What we're gonna go to is we're gonna go down into the startup tab. We want to make sure that launch on startup is on, crosshair on launch is on, minimize on launch is on, and you want to set this to the tray, and minimize on exit is on. And basically what that does is when you close out Crosshair X, it will actually minimize it to the tray, of course. That's kind of it for settings. You can do a lot of customizations. There are very interesting crosshair designs out there that you can actually pick from. But that's really how you can get a custom crosshair for Rivals. And if you want to know if this works or not, as you can see on the middle of my screen right there is the crosshair. So let's go in the Rivals and let me show you what it looks like in game. So here I am in an FFA map. As you can see, I do have the custom crosshair enabled, as you guys can see. And this is very useful, especially on weapons that if you're trying to zoom in. So a great example is like right here, I'm currently zooming in on this weapon and I still have my crosshair showing up, which is really nice and very useful, I would have to say. Pull out a sniper too. If you guys can see, I have a scope on this and I actually could still use my crosshair even with the sniper, which is very useful, especially... Oh, okay. But I could still do, like, I still see, like, where I'm aiming and stuff, especially if I'm aiming from, like, a far distance, which, like, I can't see with a normal crosshair and stuff. So, pretty nice. It's very useful. So that is kind of it if you're learning to get a custom crosshair. I hope it was that simple for y'all. And I would have to say I am very sorry for mobile players and console players. You cannot do this. Now, most monitors out there, most gaming monitors have custom crosshairs built into them, but they're really limited on customization, so I don't think it'll be worth it. Now, you also may ask, well, Rivals has a custom crosshair customization in game. That is true and all. You can use it. It is pretty damn good. But if you're trying to get like something for like zooming in on a scope, or if you're just used to one particular crosshair and you play other games like FPS games out there, it is very useful having a custom crosshair using Crosshair X and a lot of other these crosshair programs out there. There are more out there. I actually only use Crosshair X myself, so that's kind of it. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you did, subscribe, like, get that notification the bell on, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace and goodbye.